What is up? Trizzle here, tuning in for another great 3-star tutorial. I'm actually logged in on my Minimax. This is my, I guess you could count it call it a Town Hall 8. I'm at Town Hall 8 level, but because I was planning on making somewhat of an engineer base, I was very selective in the defenses that I'm upgrading. But that's not the point of this video. Today, I'm going to be breaking down Town Hall 8 DragLoon. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. I do loon so much I end up saying it in my sleep. Anyways, guys, here we're going to be looking at Town Hall 8 dragons with some loons. Probably one of the most versatile, strongest armies at Town Hall level at this point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the basics. Generally speaking, your main objectives, and I can't preach this enough, in order to become a better attacker, you have to learn to identify what's called raid objectives. These are key things that you typically want to achieve on a given raid, so that way you can give yourself the highest possible chance of success. Being that bases are going to change, you're going to have different designs, different weaknesses, strengths that you'll encounter. So if you are able to memorize and master these raid objectives, it will allow you to be able to basically break down any base that you find. It actually becomes you a much better, clasher, and a much better overall attacker. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Of course, the beginning is going to be to identify what side of the base you want to come in on. Basically, you're always going to want to ZapQuake the most difficult to access air defense. And then once you've determined that, you're going to want to come in, if you can, from behind the air sweeper. I generally count up the archer towers and see which side of the base has the heaviest air targeting defenses, and I try to target that side of the base if I can, making sure that I'm hitting the other criteria, not necessarily attacking into the air sweeper directly if I can, and also not attacking the air defense in a manner where the air defense that I leave up from the ZapQuake is going to be very difficult to get to. Start off the raid by placing your lightnings and your earthquake so you can get that AD out of the way, guys. It is not a good idea to do it on the fly, just because with the CC pulling, the timing on the rage, and ultimately the poison or haste is going to be very important. As you guys see, the army that I use for this particular breakdown is going to be 9 dragons and 4 loons with a CC of max balloons, 2 lightning spells, a raid spell, a poison, and a earthquake spell. Some of you may use a haste instead of the poison. I am more of a believer in utilizing the poison spell. That way you have a little bit more versatility depending on what comes out of the clan castle, because depending on what comes out and how your dragons are placed, it can actually mess up the raid. So with this, you're going to go ahead and destroy the air defense. On this one, it's going to be the one in the core, obviously. Get that out of the way. Once that's done, you're going to want to place your dragons on the end, so that way you can start the funnel. One of the things that you'll notice, guys, and this is a trick that I picked up, if you have an archer tower or I guess maybe like an air sweeper that's touching the air defense, you can actually get a 2-for-1 and take out both structures based on how you drop your lightning bolts. You want to drop your earthquake. Once that's done, you want to zoom in, and then with your lightning spell, the very first spell needs to come basically in the middle of the 2 touching structures. So you're going to touch right about here, and then the second one is going to be more over the air defense. So the first one is going to be right on the line where you have the 2 structures that you want to destroy, and then the second one is going to be a little bit more in and place more over the air defense. Once that's done, guys, you're going to want to place your dragons, set your funnel On this base, I knew that the awkward angle was going to force me to have to come in a little bit heavier on the right hand side. So that's what I went ahead and did. Started the funnel off with the right side. Tried to put more dragons on that side. And something that's very important, I also tried to place the loons on the right side. That way, the CC loons, that way I can actually take out more, since that's a stronger pack. One of the things that you'll want to do as well, guys, you want to make sure that your loons are aimed at the air defense. The 4 loons that you bring is going to be responsible for one of the air defense, and the CC loons would be responsible for the other air defense. So just be careful in how you go about dropping them. I usually try to draw a straight line more or less from the air defense to the balloons, so that way I can target and know that that's what their job is. From there, it's just you just watch the dragons do their thing. The raid spell is usually going to be best if you center it as in between, almost approaching the air defense. You don't want to put it over the air defense, because usually by that point in the raid, the dragons and the balloons, will it takes a longer time to get there. So you want to focus on speeding them into the air defense. That way they can get it taken out quickly. Alright, so again, guys, you want to take out more or less the more difficult to access air defense. You want to set your funnel, and then you want to come in on the side where the 2 air defense are up. You want to try to hit that as soon as possible, guys. You'll notice that Homewrecker places that raid spell as a runway path, so that way the loons can go in, take out the air defense and the core, which if the loons weren't there, what would normally happen on this particular type of base is that your dragons would circle. That little buffer, that ring that circles the core structures, is enough to get your dragons going on basically a merry-go-round ride around the entire base. And you'll notice that had those loons not went into the core, none of those dragons would have ended up there. So very, very important when you place your loons, guys, and your CC loons, that you're aiming for those air defense and you're using the rage as the speed runway to boost your loons and your CC loons into the air defense. Very important. Great job, Homewrecker. From there, it just takes out the base. So let me go ahead and show you guys a couple more raids, just showing you how this all works. Okay. This base is actually a base that I found in Global. It's got max Town Hall 8 defenses. Looks like a new Town Hall 9, just upgraded. So he's basically got everything that a max Town Hall 8 would have, more or less, except he's a new Town Hall 9. So just looking at the criteria that we spoke about with your raid objectives, on this base, because of how the air defense were located, I noticed that if I were to take out the air defense on the bottom right, it would leave me almost every single archer tower in between my approach and the structures that would actually defend. So because of that, I opted to destroy the top left air defense and then come in from the bottom. So let's go ahead and watch that play out. Go ahead and do your ZapQuake at the start of the raid, get it out of the way. Once that's done, you want to set your funnels. Now on this raid, I did end up using the king to give me a little bit of breathing room, because you'll notice that the air defense on the bottom right would start targeting a dragon immediately. And if an air defense starts targeting your dragons immediately, it's not necessarily ideal, because it's going to go down very quickly, and you need a little bit of time to allow the dragon to take out that first line of structures, so that when you drop your loons, everything flows into the base and moves in unison. You use that raid spell. Guys, if you can split the middle, that's going to be ideal. It's not necessarily better to, again, cover the particular air defense, because the loons will take it out. The 5 loons under the CC max loons can take it out without trying, and even your 4 loons that are level 5 can take it out. So you just have to have strength and faith in the loons. Believe that, understand that it will be strong enough to take out the air defense, and then from there the dragons just do their thing. What I'd end up seeing a lot is that people will, when they drop their dragons, they'll spam them more or less. They don't really drop them in a manner where it sets up the funnel. Very, very important to go ahead and drop your dragons on the ends first. That way you can take out the structures that on the very sides of where you want to approach the base, and then when you drop your dragons in the middle, it has nowhere to go but into the center. The other tip that I have to point out is making sure that when you deploy your dragons, that you're careful not to bunch them up too much, because if you don't spread them out and put one dragon on each structure, it's not going to allow the dragons to be efficient. Usually one dragon on each structure is more than enough, because if you have 6 dragons on one structure, it's going to cause over damage and it's going to cause them to bunch up. So you'll notice on this one, I start my funnel on the left with the king. I allow the archer tower to target that, and then from there you just go in. You're going to set your bookends. I set my dragons on the right to start the funnel, and then deploy the rest along the line, making sure that I aim my balloons into the air defense. I drop the poison to take care of the CC on the right, and then the rage to take out the air defense. So very simple and straightforward, guys. I know that Town Hall 8 at the max level can sometimes be a little bit tricky depending on how you approach your base breakdown, but as long as you understand that every raid that you do will have raid objectives, and if you focus on completing these raid objectives, it doesn't matter what base you find, what base you encounter, you'll be able to still take it out, regardless of the design. Just going to show you one more attack. So give me 1 second. Okay, so don't forget, guys, ZapQuake the most difficult air defense. Start your funnel. And then trickle in your dragons. You're going to aim your loons at each air defense, and then rage to set up the runway. Again, be mindful of your king and where you drop it. What is going to be crucial to taking out difficult bases or well-designed bases is making sure that you take advantage of his hit points. The king has over 2,000 hit points, so in terms of the actual strength of him being a tank for the dragons, it's huge. You know, the dragons HP, if you can save an entire dragon's life by allowing the archer towers to, focus on the king, you can actually save a lot of raids, to be honest with you. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to bring you guys a quick tutorial for Town Hall 8. I know that a lot of people currently are at Town Hall 8s, or they have minis that are currently at this level, but if you don't realize the strength of the DragLoon raid, you might be overlooking it. I will say that as a Town Hall 8, you want to start by getting your dragons upgraded to level 3, get those loons upgraded, get your raid spell upgraded, lightning spell upgraded, get this raid mastered, and then you can branch out to hogs or go wipe, what have you. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Trizzle tuning out.